welcome to this exciting segment at Expo West 2024 where innovation meets efficacy in the realm of nutritional supplements. We are diving into a revolutionary development in healthy aging and endurance enhancement, the RiaGev SR, slow release, and its cutting-edge delivery system, InnoVite's Endurance Wax Matrix Sustained Release Technology.
Join us as we navigate through the complexity of dietary supplements and unveil how these advancements stand to redefine standards of nutrient absorption, bioavailability, and consumer health benefits.
Well, it's day 2 here, buddy.
It is day 2.
One hit is all about energy, and it's up right now.
And you need energy to stay in this for the days we're staying in.
And at the end of the day, people are over-caffeinating themselves, and they're looking for the wrong types of energy. We're going to show you how to get the real stuff in a cool new slow-released format, so you get that energy all day. We have 2 really cool guests with us today who know about all the science and technology behind this. Let's introduce them. Hey, what do you think? All right, let's go. We've got Michael Crabtree here, Director of Scientific Affairs of Bioenergy Life Sciences.
And we got Joe Brunner.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, thanks for having me.
VP of Operations for InnoVite.
Yeah, you got it. Guys, it's like a match made in heaven here. You know, the ingredient we're going to get into from BLS, the RiaGev, it's been around for some time, and it works incredibly well. But then we've got Joe's wax matrix technology that allows the body to receive this energy in a slow release format. So that's the match made in heaven concept that we're talking about here, folks.
You know what, guys? Speaking of energy, I'm going to go set up and show you guys later on how to get your physical energy up while you guys continue to chat. All right.
So, you know, folks have been reaching for the wrong kind of energy for a long time. Hyper-caffeinating themselves. I mean, it's a billion-dollar industry, energy drinks and coffee, who knows. But having been in clinical practice for well over 25 years, in the natural medicine side of clinical practice, I don't get the #1 reason people see their doctor, which is pain. Not a lot natural medicine can do. But I do get energy all the time, whether it's chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, or somebody looking to go from good to even better. So here's what I want to start with, Michael. Tell us all about this, and I've been using it in practice for some time now, all about RiaGev. Remind us, what is RiaGev and how does it work?
Sure, thanks, Bryce. Bioenergy RiaGev is a novel combination of vitamin B3 in the form of niacinamide and about 3 or 4 equivalents of ribose. And why that's important is because NAD refers to a set of 4 coenzymes that you need to basically convert everything that you do. All stress in your environment has to be converted into energy in one form or another. NAD and ATP, which Bioenergy RiaGev is fundamentally set up to drive the production of as a substrate for both, helps you convert those environmental stressors into useful energy.
Well said. ATP, the currency of energy. We all want more of it, but not all at once. Joe, the wax matrix technology. Give us a little bit about how this works and why this is really a match made in heaven.
Yeah, so the idea is to try to mimic food, and typically food will digest and you only get so many nutrients within the food itself. If we can mimic food by releasing so much active ingredient or active nutrient per hour and continue that release for multiple hours, then you're essentially maximizing the saturation of the body, maintaining that saturation for multiple hours.
And the way nature intended it, I mean, as it pertains to most ingredients, maybe not all, but most ingredients, I mean, when we masticate, we chew, and we eat food, there's that time-dependent release of those micronutrients within food, and that's what we mean by as nature intended it, right?
Correct, yeah, that's the thing, is that, you know, the technology was developed back in the 1960s, and we realized that water-soluble nutrients are key to trying to maximize the absorption in the body, and so having the ability to control that release and be able to saturate, maintain saturation is a key component for trying to increase the amount of nutrients in one setting. Otherwise, it ends up in the urine.
Michael, let's go back to NAD, as you so eloquently described, which ultimately downstream turns our ATP on, or gives us more ATP. But let's talk about it in the context of NAD decline. As we age, we naturally lose NAD, or let's call it the amount of NAD production naturally declines. Yep. This is one of those things that ribose and RiaGev is doing so incredibly extremely well to increase. So it's adding potentially healthy years to our life.
Yes, exactly. So one of the reasons that we lose NAD as we age, there are two reasons. One of them are the inability to convert what we eat into NAD. Under normal conditions of metabolism. The other reason is that inflammatory proteins embed themselves in the wall of a cell, specifically CD38, and that's like the unlatching the plug of the drain and letting all the water, if the water in this context is energy, flow out of the cell. So the more CD38 we have, the less NAD we have, and the more CD38 we have in each successive decade of life. So those would be the two main reasons.
Inflammation, medical buzz term of the day for a very good reason. It's knocking years off our life. So if I heard you correctly, at the end of the day, as we age, some of us not as gracefully as others, some of that has to do with genetics. Inflammation is playing a role. It's a taxation on our body, but giving our body a supply of NAD, particularly with niacinamide, in the right way, slow release, is actually probably adding healthy years to our life and lowering that inflammation as a byproduct. Amazing. All right, guys, we have Brent Bishop, who's gone off to give us a good example as to how to get more active. What exercises can we do in our day-to-day to naturally increase our energy? Brent, maybe we should be using a little bit more of this NAD booster before we hit the gym. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. Bryce, you and I both love caffeine. We love coffee, the taste of it. But again, we don't want that crash. We want sustained energy. I'm going to show you right now how we can get our energy up. We're all born with the abilities, 7 primal movements: squat, lunge, push, pull, bend, twist, and gait. We should be able to do these from kids and into adulthood, but of course, life takes over. We work so much, we sit too much, we stand not enough, and we end up being more hunched over, lose our posture. Poor health happens to a lot of us because of these things. So I'm going to show you something that you can do to get your body active, get the energy up, and really help you with balance, posture, strength throughout the ages. So you should be able to do this at any age. You're going to get into a squat, okay? Coming down into that squat. As you come out of that squat, you're going to shift your weight to one leg, and we're going to extend straight up, thumbs up, get the hands up as high as you can, come right back into position, squat again, repeat on the other side. By doing this, you're working your glutes, hamstrings, low back, mid back, shoulders. All those postural muscles that are essentially shut off when you're in a computer position are now turned on. Your energy goes up as well, your heart rate goes up. So you combine this with a sustained release technology of something like RiaGev, you're going to win. And you got to continue this throughout the ages, basically. Bryce, I'm going to go back to you. I think you got some testimonials.
Yeah, I've been using this product in clinical practice for some time, not the SR form, but RiaGev. And as I mentioned earlier at the top, Brent, I've had a long list of patients coming to me for many years now with the desire to increase not just their health span, years that are healthy tacked on their life, but energy, day-to-day energy. So thank you for that. They should all be listening and doing those exercises. And gentlemen, besides the ingredients that we use in terms of a nutraceutical toolbox in natural medicine, and people needing to, everyone from the weekend warrior to the average individual to the individual who's seeing me in a clinical setting that's desiring, feeling better, looking to solve a problem. Any testimonials that you can share with us as it pertains to, we'll start with you, Michael, let's call it business to business, customer partner testimonials where you as a raw material supplier are giving them an opportunity to get into the business of delivering exactly what we're saying, essentially giving them the opportunity to onboard this wonderful new product?
Yeah, actually we have a very good customer called Endure Niacin who developed this exact wax matrix. We have their Vice President of Operations here with us, Joe, solving one of the key issues in this industry, which is how do you use NAD boosting materials for extended periods of time without shutting down natural feedback cycles.
Right. Tell us what that is. What's a natural feedback cycle?
Well, in the NAD salvage pathway, your body is constantly reconstituting what is called free niacinamide into NAD all the time, over and over and over, every minute of every day. As that occurs more and more, and your NAD levels come up and up and up as you are supplementing with niacinamide, eventually you will reach a certain point of blood levels of NAD that will simply shut off that feedback loop. It will shut down that salvage pathway, and your body will start methylating excessive quantities of the free niacinamide rather than reconstituting it as NAD. It will methylate it and excrete it, and that's another way that we will lose NAD. Okay, and that's exactly what the wax matrix and the extended release seeks to solve. It sort of does not, or disallows you to get at any one given time too much NAD in your blood, and if you can maintain the control, the concentration of NAD in your blood at a certain level, you won't make use of these negative feedback cycles, and you won't lose as much NAD to excretion, and you can make use more of the NAD that is present.
Brilliant. All right, Joe, it's going to go over to you now, because obviously this is not just taking a ball of wax and shoving the RiaGev into it and down the hatch. There's a layering process, there's a homogenization behind this, and it works for more things than just RiaGev. Right. Give us the sort of deep dive into what this is doing.
Yeah, originally it was started with nicotinic acid, which is a pre-metabolite of B3, and it has a side effect called flushing. Yeah. And so back in the early 70s, we were in a Harvard University study, Dr. Jack Sachs, showing the blood chemistry work of wax matrix versus hydropropyl methylcellulose type formulas. And the benefit of the wax matrix is it's more of an erosion process. So when we manufacture it, we are using specific wax specifications that we have exclusive contracts with, and we're designing specific to the water molecule. So if it's nicotinic acid, niacinamide, riboside, all these water-soluble nutrients benefit from the sustained release technology, so that we can continue that saturation process. But really, what it does for the consumer and the doctor is it helps with compliance. I mean, the reality is when you have capsule type products that break down in the first hour, and what the body can absorb ends up in the urine, we can at least cut the doses so that you're not having to dose multiple times in the day. And that's really the key benefit, is that you're saving money, you're dosing twice a day, maybe once a day, and just trying to keep those saturation levels at a point that is efficacious. So.
Gotcha. And Michael, who would be the perfect customer partner? Who do you think is out there, maybe even trending at the Expo show where we're at now, that would just do so well to adopt this new technology?
That's a great question. Anybody who is trying to control the kinetics of their substance going into the human system. Anybody who's looking to improve bioavailability, possibly improve the solubility, and improve the release time of their product, actually benefiting the end user. You don't have to use as much, and you don't elicit the responses of these positive and negative feedback cycles in biology that tend to reduce the benefit of whatever it is that you're taking.
Right.
So that's what
makes perfect sense. Brent, you know, we're learning heavy here. We're going to have you back together with these guys in a second, but we like to challenge people, particularly when we're here live at the Expo. I think you got a bit of an exercise challenge if we can grab somebody out there unsuspectingly walking by.
I do, Bryce. In fact, I always love to challenge people. That's what I do. So let's see if I can get somebody to actually do this challenge. All right. Looks like we're not having luck. I'm going to show you the challenge myself. All right. So pretty basic. It's going to be high knees for 10 seconds, driving the knees up as high as you can. So this is an energy booster. You want to bring that energy up. If you're watching this, you do this and follow me along. Next one is going to be air squats. So literally squats for 10 seconds. All right, up and down, getting those legs active. Swing the arms up. We're bringing that heart rate up. That's important. And then lastly, we're going to go to jumping jacks. Okay, 10 seconds of jumping jacks. So you can also do this for reps. Maybe 20 reps of each. Time yourself. See how fast you can get through them. And you notice your heart rate will be up, of course. That cardiovascular system working. And you want to combine that with obviously a great diet, but also sustained energy is what we're looking for here at a cellular level. This is natural sustained energy with RiaGev SR. Bryce, you hear I'm panting here. I'm going to send it over to you.
So I guess what you learned is you want to be taking that RiaGev SR all day, every day before you start doing these kinds of exercise. Brent, you know the deal. It's going to yield more energy for you when your body actually needs it. Gentlemen, there was a recent report, NBC News, that we are now all too familiar with, also published in the Journal of Nature Medicine. News gets it wrong very often from our world of supplements and natural medicine. But what it was all about was dosing of B3 found in cereals, for example, enriched breads. And the scare, or the shock and awe, was that people might be receiving too much B3. And this might be damaging and potentially even leading to heart disease. What was this all about? Debunk this for us, Michael.
Well, so the study actually differentiated between two metabolites that occur after the ingestion of fortified foods, specifically containing niacin.
Right.
One of them is 4-PY, which happens to be the harmful metabolite. One of them is 2-PY, which tends to be very benign. From our perspective, having looked at this study, what I would say is that you're dealing with a very small percentage or demographic of people who probably have a very specific genetic mutation in SNP and what's called the AOX, or potentially the MACE genetic system that basically allows them to convert not to 2-PY but to 4-PI, and that we're likely dealing with, I would say, less than 10% of the population that is dealing with this. From our perspective, that's a very small group of people, and that normal fortification and supplementation with niacin should be just fine.
I would entirely agree. From my world of genomics,
I like to refer to the methylation pathway as as sort of a relay race. And this relay race has 5 racers in it. You mentioned 2 of them, but there's MTR, MTRR, fucyltransferase, or FUT2. But to make it real simple, if the baton is the methyl group, or CH3, and the idea is to be able to win that race, you're not only getting the fastest time, but also not disqualifying, is passing the baton and then dropping it. And some individuals have those SNPs where they drop it. By giving the wrong forms of B vitamins or too high doses, you might be actually just trying to satisfy a drop baton by throwing more batons at this individual. It's not going to solve the race. But at the end of the day, as you mentioned, very few people have these SNPs to be worried too much about this. But format, that's another thing, as you mentioned. The format, the type of B3 was the wrong type of B3. It's not really the one they're talking about. Furthermore, Joe, over to you, what they're not cracking the code when we're talking about fortified cereal is that dose is all at once. This can easily be satisfied at higher doses by using your technology.
Well, and the study was done on mice. They referenced the mice, and so there really wasn't any human intervention. No actual dosing of supplements or drug of nicotinic acid or niacinamide. So really, there needs to be more studies to determine whether or not those 2 inflammatory markers actually have any type of trigger mechanism to. So really, what we're wanting to know is fortified foods, wheat, flour, which are known allergens, does that have any contribution to those triggers of those inflammatory markers? And it's really a lot of questions more than answers at this point. So.
Right. And so specifically to B3, tell us a little bit about Enduracin, different formula than the RiaGev combination. What is Enduracin, and how is it very specifically cracking this or solving this problem?
Yeah, so nicotinic acid is the metabolite, pre-metabolite of B3. It's when it metabolizes through the liver, it produces niacinamide, which goes through the Krebs cycle and forms NAD as well. But the benefits of nicotinic acid have health benefits in cholesterol. I mean, it's the only drug that has the ability to lower triglycerides, raise HDL, LP(a). So it has a place for it, and typical statins only work on the LDL at this point. So the niacinamide, on the other hand, being the metabolite form of B3. I mean, there's 3 forms of niacin. There's nicotinic acid, the pre-metabolite, the niacinamide, then inositol hexanicotinate. And so really the only form of cholesterol balance is nicotinic acid. So that's and there's thousands of studies. The largest was the Coronary Drug Project that was 15 years studying niacin population. And since then, there's been several studies that show the benefits. So
absolutely, and ApoB, that's gaining some popularity, amongst consumers. It's a challenge to reduce that, but the story is no longer just about cholesterol. It's about the inflammation that warrants the deposition of cholesterol in the first place. If you're looking to lower cholesterol, once again, I actually would refer back to the RiaGev SR formula as something you could always speak to your doctor or pharmacist before starting any new form of medication or changing your drugs or switching things in or out. But I would encourage people to look into this formula, whether you're looking to put energy into your body or putting healthy years on your life, to lowering cholesterol, particularly if your ApoB or LP(a) is stubborn. And let's be honest, LPA is really difficult to drive down, but there have been some good success stories of individuals who've shifted their lifestyle and brought in the right type of niacin in a slow release form. Let's remind folks again, what is this slow release using this technology that you're that you're so hyped up about in terms of the D-ribose combination and B3. Just remind people exactly what the two ingredients that are going into the slow release format.
Right, so into the wax matrix goes niacinamide and Bioenergy D-ribose, and these specific combination at a very specific ratio has very specific synergistic benefits that appeal to both anti-inflammation and, of course, we're talking glutathione, your two primary electron carriers in the body. One would be NAD, NADH, NADP plus, and NADPH, so we have a broad increase across the entire NAD metabolome, and of course ATP.
Absolutely. If you're a clinician out there, or even if you're not, and you're somebody who's seeking integrative health, functional medicine health, I would ask for this test by name, and it's called the NutriVal by Genova Diagnostics. It is a 200 plus endpoint biomarker, blood, urine, that looks at this entire citric acid cycle, which is your energy pathway cycle. And the proof's in the pudding when you take this product and you see that downstream formation of all these metabolites we're discussing here, as Michael pointed out, of NAD and that upregulation of ATP. It's irrefutable, and I like to ask people to know their numbers. So maybe ask for that by name. We've discussed a lot. We're going to throw it back to Brent because Brent's going to test this information in the general public. Let's see what people actually know about energy and niacin and niacinamide and all these different formats. So Brent, over to you. Let's see if we can find somebody here at the show who can answer some questions.
Let's do this. Maybe we'll have better luck than earlier. Excuse me, quick question for you. Just a true or false. Very quick. Okay, so I'm going to give you, let's see this one. High levels of niacin may pose a risk to heart health without proper delivery systems. So niacin, B3, vitamin B3. False. False. It's actually true. High levels, particularly if they're not absorbed over a longer period of time, can be damaging to blood vessels and create inflammations, can impact heart health. So having a wax matrix technology delivery system, which basically mimics your body's natural digestive system, allows it to be released gradually and it doesn't pose the harm. Yeah. Well, we're filming, yeah.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Here, let me give you a sample. It's called RiaGev SR, so it's slow release.
Thank you.
And great for all-day energy.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Let's try one more. Excuse me. Yeah, let's take your picture. We'll actually take your video instead. I have a quick question. Quick true and false question. You in for that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know about sustained release technology for supplements?
Yeah.
Gradual release. Do you think all sustained release technology can improve nutrient bioavailability and reduce potential side effects?
That was a big question. Yes.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
False. Not all.
No?
Not all.
Oh,
There's a lot of sustained release technologies out there, but particularly what we're talking about here is a wax matrix technology, which mimics your body's natural digestive system, so it's released gradually over time for sustained energy.
At night?
You should take it right now. How long are you going to be staying here?
All day.
All day. You need to take a nap.
Okay. Fantastic.
RiaGev, slow release.
Great. Slow release.
All right. Enjoy. Take care. All right. It worked. All right, Bryce, I'm going to go back to you.
Well, as we wrap this up, Brent, come on over and join the conversation because we've learned a lot today about this incredible new technology. It's always hard to get people on the showroom floor, but there's some good sports.
But you notice it's always easier when you're just asking a question. When I say challenge, people tend to back off of the challenge. Yeah.
I would argue, though, that where this is the easiest sell possible to customer partners, as we mentioned earlier, it's just going to redefine, as nature intended it, the micronutrients, the ingredients, the evidence-based ingredients they're already dealing with in a slow-release technology. And energy is what people are looking for. I mean, natural energy, the true, real energy that our bodies desire more of. I got a question for you. I got a question for both of you, but I'm going to start with you, Michael. How is it that you intend to, how old do you want to be actually when you kick the proverbial bucket, if you don't mind me asking? And how do you want to go out? How is it that you're going to get to the point, that end point, that ripe old age, and how are you going to live that life?
Oh, that's a great question. No one can really know that for sure, but I think that the goal for everyone is to increase your lifespan, increase your healthy lifespan as opposed to necessarily chronological age. You're improving the number of years that you have on this planet where you are free from any sort of discernible metabolic disease.
Right.
Peak energy, peak health for as long as possible, that's what lifespan means. So improving health span versus increasing time, as it were, is probably what I would answer.
Okay, so Joe, you got the more difficult question. How are you going to increase your lifespan or health span?
I've already started. Both my parents died in their 60s, alcoholics, and so cutting out alcohol, cutting out preservative foods, and getting more to healthier life choices is significant. I got 3 grandkids. I want to be able to watch them grow and play sports and all those fun things that I miss already from my kids. So
good for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. And we all know that you're just going to exercise your way into 110.
Well, let's hope.
And I think there are a lot of ingredients out there as we sort of wrap up here. If you talk to Charles Brunner, he'll give you a story. If you talk to David Sinclair, it'll be another story. The race, as you heard, biochemically downstream into achieving more NAD. I mean, dozens of human clinical trials to substantiate RiaGev SR is cracking the code a lot more inexpensively, and the safety, efficacy is there, the transparency, the traceability is there, all the evidence is there, purity, potency. So delivering that payload in a time-release fashion, that's how these guys have cracked the code. That's how this is a marriage made in heaven. And if you don't already know about it, whether you're a consumer at home and you're looking to get more energy, or maybe potential new customer partner looking to crack the code on your ingredient technology, these are the guys to talk to. Where do we learn more?
Well, for InnoVite, InnoVite.com is our contract manufacturing company, and Endurance Products is our marketing arm. It's in EnduranceProducts.com. So for clinicians looking for options that are more controlled release.
Awesome. And for Bioenergy Life Sciences?
www.bioenergylifescience.com.
Amazing. Thanks so much, gentlemen. Really appreciate you educating us today.
Powerful combination.
Bryce, thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, you guys stay well.